Police officers sure are law enforcement officials who are tasked with maintaining public order, protecting individuals and property, and preventing and investigating crime. However, there have been instances where police officers have abused their power, used excessive force, and violated people's rights, particularly those from marginalized communities.
Oh, somebody help me!
These actions can lead to distrust and fear of law enforcement, exacerbating already strained relationships between the police and the communities they serve. But can they exploit such power? What are the legal penalties if they do so? And if the police abuse his here power, would they be treated differently? Stick around as we take a closer look at two of the most brutal cases that could make us think of cops as judicial pillars twice. Our first case kicks off with Sergeant Mario Cardona versus Daniel Garza. Daniel Garza was helpless after being thrown and pinned to the ground. Officer Mario Cardona, who Garza had known for years, was on the verge of breaking his wrist. Garza recalled, "I was trying to be a man and trying to hold in the pain, but man, that wrist lock hurts." He's just bending it and bending it. But what compelled Cardona to go so far? It turns out that his actions were motivated by rage toward Garza, whom he accuses of attempting to kidnap his stepdaughter. Are cops bestowed such authority? Seems that the two men had quite the history, with Garza having previously dated Cardona's stepdaughter, Naomi Villanueva. The relationship had hit rock bottom, with Villanueva moving out of her parents' house to live with a friend. In May 2015, Garza allegedly took Villanueva without her consent from her friend's house and brought her to her parents' house in Whittier, where Cardona lived across the street. Cardona saw Garza doing pilates in his yard and ordered him to come down to the street. As soon as Garza came down, Cardona began his assault. According to Garza, he was not the aggressor, and a neighbor who witnessed the incident testified in Garza's favor. The sheriff deputies who arrived at the scene noticed redness on Garza's face, bruises and abrasions to his knees, and redness on his wrists. Garza filed a complaint against Cardona, which led to a federal lawsuit against Cardona, Chief Beck, and the city of Los Angeles. Garza alleged false arrest, unreasonable search and seizure, excessive force, assault and battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. A video of the incident filmed by one of Garza's neighbors was also presented at the trial. They had made up a story of what had happened to make him look like a hero and me look like a criminal, says Daniel Garza. The U.S. District Judge Stephen V. Wilson presided over the hearing where the former deputy city attorney, Michael Amarian, spoke in defense of the city. The jury found Cardona to be acting with malice as an off-duty officer, and on June 26, 2017, they ordered him to pay Garza $210,000 in damages. On top of that, the court added another $664,000 in attorney's fees and $26,000 for post-trial costs. The city of Law refused to take responsibility for Cardona's actions, and even refused to indemnify the officer, forcing him to pay for the charges out of his pocket. Jim DeSimone, Garza's attorney, claims, "This is the problem with the left. This is why people are out on the street." The case is a clear example of police officers using excessive force against individuals and getting away with it. In this case, however, Garza was able to stand up to the authorities who violated his rights, and he was able to win his lawsuit against Cardona. The jury's decision to find Cardona guilty of acting with malice sends a strong message that law enforcement officers cannot get away with using excessive force against citizens. It is worth noting that this case also highlights the importance of civilians being aware of their rights and standing up to law enforcement officers when they feel their rights have been violated. Garza's decision to file a complaint and a lawsuit against Cardona shows that individuals can take action against police brutality and excessive force. As more and more people become aware of their rights and are willing to take action, law enforcement officers will be held accountable for their actions, and if you sue a cop in LAA for excessive force, you are in for a wild ride. However, Garza's decision to stand up to Cardona and the authorities who violated his rights resulted in a victory for him. sending a strong message that law enforcement officers cannot get away with using excessive force against citizens. The case of Harold Hill is just a perfect example of how our justice system can go wrong. From a gruesome rape and murder to a wrongful conviction, this case definitely ticks all the boxes. So, what underwent? First off, we have the detectives who were assigned to the case, Kenneth Bordeaux and John Halloran, the so-called beacons of justice. They were the ones who got the confession out of Peter Williams, who was later found to be in jail at the time of the crime. So, how did they churn out a false confession of someone who wasn't even there? Hill's confession is also questionable, as he claims that he was physically and mentally abused until he confessed to crimes he didn't commit. Is this the kind of behavior we expect from our law enforcement officers? Moving on to the trial itself. Hill was only 16 years old when the crime was committed, but was tried as an adult at the age of 31. This is an interesting move from the prosecution, considering that neither of the defendants had a criminal record prior to the incident. The jury found Hill and Young guilty of murder, and they were sentenced to life without parole. But 13 long years later, DNA tests revealed that the hair found at the crime scene and the cellular materials under Kathy Morgan's fingernails didn't match either of the defendants. Think of the agony Hill went through for something he didn't do. What made Hill hold on to his life is still astonishing. Despite this evidence, the prosecutors disputed the findings, suggesting that the hairs were unrelated to the crime and that the cellular material could have come from sweat or drool left over by the recovery team. It's shocking that the prosecutors were so stubborn, even in the face of such clear evidence. Harold and Young were eventually released from prison, but tragedy struck when Young was killed in a hit-and-run incident. Hill, however, filed a complaint against the city of Chicago, the police, and the two detectives involved in the case, accusing them of forcing a confession and violating his civil rights. The case was settled for $1.25 million, with Hill receiving $500,000 and the rest going to attorney's fees. It's surprising that the detectives were only asked to pay a measly $7,500 each for their part in this whole debacle. Do you think that is bad? Wait till you hear this. It's also worth noting that Hill was later convicted again for an unrelated armed robbery charge and is currently serving 27 years in prison. But despite this, it's clear that the justice system failed Harold Hill in the past. This case highlights the importance of reforming our justice system to ensure that wrongful convictions don't occur, and that those who abuse their power are held accountable. The case of Harold Hill is a tragedy of errors, starting from the investigation to the trial and subsequent conviction. Being wrongfully imprisoned for 13 years, Hill was not awarded a chance to conform to life outside because he was turned into a criminal by the system. The system absolutely messed the hell out of him, and the cops only paid $7,500 each. When cops do what they did, they need to be locked away for at least as long as the victims they put in jail. What do you think of these cases? Which do you think is most unfair? Sound off in the comments below and make sure to let us know if we missed out on anything. While you are at it, make sure to hit that subscribe and leave a like to never miss an update from us.
A police officer was fired for apologizing to an Army sergeant. The incident escalated in a nearby cafe when the officer and sergeant argued over a misunderstanding. As tensions rose, the cop recognized his error and apologized.
Hello. Hey. I don't know him. You know who that is? No. Who's your girlfriend or your baby mama? Lady right here.
First of all, that's my wife, Marvin.
Okay.
Marvin.
Okay.
And who are y'all looking for?
The apology was his downfall, as the cops cited a policy violation for expressing weakness. The officer's termination has divided the community, with some applauding his openness to accept mistakes and others arguing that the department must maintain discipline. The event illustrates the delicate balance between law enforcement responsibility and expectations.
Investigate. Right there. 9 years, U.S. Army. Now, what's the problem?
Okay. What's your first name?
I don't have to identify myself to you, do I? Am I under investigation? You want to tell me what's going on?
102, can you
No,
confirm the address?
No, she can't come out there. Y'all need to tell me what's going on. This is my house. Don't.
Copy. They're advising that this is not the right address.
Hi,
Hi, ma'am. What? Ma'am?
Y'all violating my rights right now.
Actually, we're not, dude.
Yes, you are, because
No,
you're
we're
not
not.
telling me who that is as I said it to you.
Listen to me, dude. We're not violating your rights.
You are.
How?
Because
Which right? Which civil right are we violating?
Why are you raising your
We're
voice?
not violating
Why is he raising
anything,
his voice?
okay?
Why is he raising
So
his voice?
we are here on
Are you
a
threatening
welfare
me?
check.
An urgent call from the local medical center about a poisoning incident disturbed the solemn atmosphere at the police department on May 10th, 2020. The officers rushed to the scene, their expressions furrowed with concern. The medical institution received a frightened patient with symptoms of purposeful poisoning. The detectives and medical professionals methodically gathered evidence to solve the case. They remained concentrated as the situation grew severe, reflecting their dedication to finding the truth. The tragedy highlighted the community's issues and law enforcement's vital role in protecting the people of the city.
What's his problem?
Okay.
Nah, I need your badge numbers. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'll
I'm
give
sorry.
you my badge number. But so the reason we're here is to
Now
make
you're
sure
telling me the
somebody
reason
is
after you told me to
okay.
eat it. So you told me to eat it, right? Marler?
I messed up. I apologize.
Now that you on film, you messed up.
No,
So
you
you
didn't.
haven't violated any of my
No.
rights.
No,
the
sir.
first thing you said to me coming here was,
So,
is
sir.
that my baby mama or my girlfriend?
Sir,
Then he started raising his voice at me.
From North Bay.
Pause. I need your name and your badge number.
Officer Conma, 107.
Thank you. I need your name and your badge
Officer
number.
Marler 102.
And she's at my window. I told you not to go to my window. Close the blinds.
Do you have a 14-year-old son?
Close the blinds.
Hold on, sir.
Close the blinds.
Sir, do you have a 14-year-old son?
Close the blinds.
Tiffany Canoma and Cody Marler responded to a distress call at Army Sergeant Sarah Hawkins' home. Arriving at the scene, they found a well-kept suburban home with tension. Alarming neighbors reported loud noises and conversations. As they neared the front door, they glanced around, mentally preparing for anything. Sergeant Hawkins gingerly opened the door, her look a mix of apprehension and relief. The cops introduced themselves and promised to assist and protect her. They found strewn items and emotional disturbance within. Canoma and Marler calmly explained the matter to the sergeant with empathy. The presence and competence gave Sergeant Hawkins a sense of security.
Marler.
I
served as well.
Marler.
I don't give. You are probably a piece. If you serve and you telling
Okay.
people to eat, you probably was a piece.
All right.
You can get out of here. That's what you can do, Marler. You
Okay. Let me explain, because we may have
said
been.
you told me to eat it.
Can I explain to you?
The conversation revealed that their quick response had diffused a potentially developing scenario, emphasizing the importance of law enforcement in maintaining community peace. As cops yelled at Sergeant Hawkins, the precinct was tense. Raised voices and colorful language broke the customary decorum as the precinct walls seemed to absorb the intense argument. Officer Marler, who violated department regulations, was the focus of this verbal altercation.
Faye and our dispatch. So we got a call that we need. Okay, a 3-year-old was brought into the hospital because she ingested nail polish remover. Okay,
We don't know anything about
Okay.
any of that.
and that is absolutely fine. So this
I
just got a
know,
little out of hand.
But you don't come to somebody's house and say, if that's your baby mama or your girlfriend. You
Right,
don't
and
like
I completely understand
You're
that.
supposed to be
It was
professional.
I'm trying my best to be
And if
professional.
you're doing fine. But that
Okay.
guy, I don't know what side of the bed he woke up on.
Had him
Put
sent
yourself
away.
in my shoes. 2 cops knock on your door. Boom, boom, boom. I'm in there having a good time with my wife
Okay.
of 5 years.
Marler was chastised by Sergeant Hawkins, known for the strict discipline, for his unprofessional language and behavior. This incident revealed a wide rift between the seasoned officer and his colleagues, showing how a law enforcement unit's values and expectations clash. The precinct was forever changed by the incident, which stressed the need for following departmental procedures and remaining professional even in stressful times. Officer Marler has apologized for his recent behavior, which gained public notice and sparked concerns.
So
Y'all want me to quote what statute you guys are violating? I'm not one of those people, but I'm pretty sure I can go on Google and see if
we
this
have
is
every
legal
right
what
to be
you
here
did.
to check on somebody, and you have the right to Google us and make sure.
So you have
Okay.
the right to be here and check on somebody, right?
Yes,
Did I have to come out my door?
you did not. We needed to come
Exactly.
check.
The formal statement apologized for any discomfort and pledged to uphold law enforcement's highest standards. The government soon issued a statement recognizing the occurrence. The statement stressed the necessity of following a stringent code of conduct and their commitment to ethics and professionalism. It also informed the public that internal measures will be implemented to resolve the issue and prevent repeat accidents. This reinforces the department's commitment to building trust and respect between officers and the community they serve by emphasizing law enforcement transparency and accountability. Loveland Police's wrongful arrest of Karen Gardner has outraged the community and beyond. On June 26, 2020, cops apprehended and confined 73-year-old dementia patient Garner for trying to exit a Walmart without paying $13.88. The officer's wrist lock and shoulder pressure caused Garner to dislocate her shoulder, break her arm, and other injuries. Later publication of body camera footage fueled public fury. The incident emphasizes the necessity for law enforcement mental health training and awareness. The Loveland Police Department was criticized for its response, prompting calls for accountability and reform. 73-year-old Garner, whose dementia affected her memory, was confused in Walmart's fluorescent aisles. She stumbled toward the exit with a few unpaid things, her wrinkled brows showing her diminishing awareness. The store security guards gently intercepted Gardner, seeing the weakness in her eyes. An understanding staffer guided her back to the checkout amid the chaos. Gardner's brief attempt to disappear revealed her dementia and the difficulty memory loss causes. Officer Austin Hopp responded quickly to the emergency call. He fought Gardner and restrained her with determination. Hopp used controlled power and professional urgency to control the issue. The intense interaction highlighted law enforcement's challenges in preserving public safety in complex and possibly dangerous situations.
Before that, you tried to steal from Walmart. And they caught you and took the stuff back. Stand up. Oh.
I'm not going anymore.
Why are you fighting with me? And why are you trying to slip the cuffs off?
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home.
No, you're not. Are you finished? Are you finished? We don't play this game. You understand me? If you try to kick me, oh, this is gonna be bad.
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
Officer Daria Hilali arrived with nervous anticipation. As she approached, her stern face showed determination. The situation escalated quickly when both police appeared to use excessive force when arresting Garner. Their unrelenting activities put doubt on the incident's legality and raised questions about the police department's use of power. They watched in surprise, increasing their concern as the interaction developed, and the tragedy raised important questions regarding police training and responsibility, prompting a re-evaluation of public safety practices.
Get in the car.
In you go.
Do not hook onto him.
I'll come on the other side and grab her. What's that?
Where's your sergeant?
Huh? Who's my sergeant?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first, I can tell you that. Sergeant Metzler, he's at the police department. You can go talk to him if you have an issue.
Yeah, give me your car so I can put a report.
Okay.
I see you there, how you throw the little kid.
Little kid?
Well, I don't know.
He's not
if
a little kid. And this is what happened.
He was just walking, and I see you how
She
you
just
grab him.
stole from Walmart.
Officers ignored mental health regulations when treating Gardner. Their unwillingness to recognize Gardner's condition violated vital policies protecting vulnerable people. A regretful and avoidable escalation occurred due to her mental illness being ignored. Law enforcement might have avoided this tragedy with better training and mental health knowledge, underscoring the need for better awareness and protocol when dealing with mentally ill people. After the disturbing occurrence, Loveland settled with Garner for $3 million.
Whole situation, that's the thing.
Yeah, you know, but it's like...
But knowing the situation, do you feel differently now?
Oh, yeah. But
That's
you know,
it.
like seeing it from there, that guy just walking.
Yeah, I get
You
that.
know?
I get that. So when I went to go grab her and talk to her, she started running, leaving, pulling away from me, trying to fight me.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't see it running,
Exactly.
you know.
So before you go to a snap judgment, you gotta get all the facts.
But right here, she wasn't running.
I get that.
I see it walking right
Yeah.
there. You pull
All right,
over.
I gotta deal with this. You hang tight, okay?
Get your feet in the car.
The city's decision shows its commitment to restitution. The settlement honors Garner's experience and takes accountability and justice forward. This shows the power of fairness and transparency in difficult situations. The agreement stresses the city's commitment to healing and progress by making the neighborhood safer and more inclusive. ATF agent James Burke's arrest shocked law enforcement. The episode, which was quite intense, involved corruption and power abuse. The agency's reputation was tarnished by the arrest. Once admired, Burke now confronts legal challenges and public criticism. The incident emphasizes the necessity for law enforcement accountability and transparency to reestablish public trust. As the judicial proceedings continue, doubts about Burke's activities and their impact on other cases remain.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
I'm a federal agent.
917-110-3.
I'm a federal agent.
Get on the ground!
Get on the ground. I'm a federal agent.
Why wouldn't you show me your ID when I got here? Don't move forward.
You didn't ask for it. You didn't ask for it.
Get on the ground. We'll figure it out.
Columbus police officers Joseph Fiji and Kevin Winchell arrived at a disturbance with seasoned vigilance. The darkly lit alley with its muffled bustle was illuminated by the flickering street light. They advanced with solid steps and quick looks to assure safety. Both cops showed determination and prudence, demonstrating their years of service. As they approached, anxiety grew, preparing to reveal the nighttime mystery. Agent Burke automatically reached for his federal badge as he stepped forward to assert his authority. Officer Fiji's gruff voice ordered him to the ground despite his clean suit and confident posture. Burke's jaw tightened as he analyzed the situation, his badge gleaming between the need to show his credentials and the officer's demand. His eyes flickered before he complied, a planned move to defuse the conflict and balance power and cooperation. Federal and local law enforcement jurisdictions are different yet linked. The FBI and DEA have jurisdiction over cross-state matters in federal legislation. They handle terrorism, organized crime, and narcotics trafficking. Police and sheriffs in counties and municipalities address crimes within their boundaries. Law enforcement requires collaboration between various institutions to ensure public safety while respecting their authority and legal frameworks. Agent Burke's defiance changed when Officer Fiji, resolute and determined, led with a charged taser.
The car! Why would you make us do this?
I didn't want you to. I wanted to. Wait.
No, you knew what you were doing.
Sir, calm down.
Relax.
Sir, hey, guys, please, just talk to me for 1 second, please.
Get in the car.
No,
We'll
wait.
talk later.
Sir, wait.
You had your chance.
No, I was trying to give you my creds. You didn't let me show them to
Never
you.
once tried.
I did.
Get in the car.
Wait.
Now!
Have a seat. Please, wait, I gotta breathe.
Okay,
Please,
you
sir,
can,
let
you
me
can
breathe.
sit down and breathe.
Let me breathe. I have a medical condition.
We're gonna get air to you. Get
No,
your legs
no.
in. Get your
Sir.
legs in. We're closing this door.
Sir,
Get your legs in.
I need air. Sir, please, call an ambulance. I'm asking for an
You
ambulance.
got a medic coming. Get in the car.
Officer Fiji's vigor and determination seemed to melt Burke's resistance. Tense expectancy lingered before Burke's determined posture broke free. Burke's submission was unavoidable due to the overwhelming force. The scene was filled with relief and submission as the taser stopped, ending Officer Fiji's determination and Agent Burke's defiance. Agent Burke reportedly conducted a firearm follow-up at the scene. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Weapons, and Explosives, or the ATF, enforced federal weapons, explosives, arson, and alcohol and tobacco trafficking statutes in this case. The ATF's role assures strict firearm distribution and use regulation. As the operation proceeds, Agent Burke's involvement and the ATF's goals will become clearer, revealing their efforts to protect public safety and federal regulations. The complainant's unwillingness to open the door reflected their Fourth Amendment attitude. They refused the authorities' admission request, citing the Constitution's ban on unreasonable searches. This principled approach highlighted the fragile balance between individual liberty and police enforcement. As anxiety rose, the scene captured the spirit of the Fourth Amendment, demonstrating the importance of private rights in a security-conscious culture. The stalemate reminded citizens that democracy relies on their vigilance in maintaining their constitutional rights. Agent Burke sued Columbus officers federally for excessive force and injury. The lawsuit alleges that cops used excessive force and caused significant harm during a recent incident. Burke, a devoted law enforcement officer, argues the cops' actions were unnecessary and civil rights violations. Burke's situation epitomizes police misconduct and accountability debates. As the judicial procedures progress, attention shifts to law enforcement practices and the national debate on police use of force.